Page 5. As you remember, a line is just a series of points that extend all the way to the left and all the way to the right as far as you can imagine, just infinitely long. And this is the way you would write it out. You look for two different points on it, and then you put this line mark, little line mark above it, and that just reads line AB. Now there are other things out there that are similar to a line, but not quite. They're a little bit different. This is what we call array. Array is just like a line in that it goes all the way to the right, or sometimes to the left, depending on where it goes. But one of the sides is capped right here. So for instance, this one here, and this happens to be on the left side, it could also happen the other way around. But in this certain instance, it is capped at point A. It doesn't go to the left anymore. It just stops right there, and it only extends to the right infinitely. And you write that by only writing, you write AB, two of the points, and then you put one of the arrows above it. Only one of the arrows, because it doesn't extend both ways. And then the last thing we have is a line segment. A line segment, as you see, is capped on the left and it's capped on the right. It's capped in both areas, and you just write it with AB with just a line above it. No arrow marks. Page 5. These are two line segments. Line segment AB and line segment CD. They actually have the same length. And the way we would write length is not having, this actually doesn't mean anything about its length. This denotes that is this line. The length, on the other hand, if you don't write a symbol above these two endpoints, then it just resembles the length of that line. So if I were to write simply A, B with no symbol above it, this means it's talking about the length or distance between point A and point B. And the same can be said for line segment CD. So the CD with the line segment above it is actually talking about this specific line segment, nothing to do with how long it is. But this right here is saying, look at these 2 points, and this is the distance between those 2 points. Now we know that, we can start mathematically denoting that these are the same length, if in fact they are. And we do know that they are. This one I wrote specifically 3 units long. This is also 3 units long. So we know that these are equal in length. You can write an equal sign right there in length. Now, does that mean that these two are equal line segments? No, they are actually not. You cannot do this, because what this would have meant, if this was an equal sign, is you're saying this line segment is the same as that line segment, and they're two different ones. They're specifically different than each other. We're not talking about length or distance, but we're actually talking about their length, how much you can measure them by. Then you can say that those two lengths are the same. The way we would write this up here, if we were trying to say that these two lines had the same distance, we would write a congruent sign. A congruent just means they have the same length or measure. That's all it means. So if you want to specifically look at these two line segments, you use the congruence symbol, which is just an equal symbol, but then with this little squiggly line on it right there. That's what you would write. And then this is proper. You can say that line segment AB is congruent to line segment CD. That the distance between point A and B is the same as between C and D. And you can also say that line segment AB does not equal line segment CD. They are different. They're two different ones, but they are in fact congruent. And that's the difference between congruency and equality.